Look, I would rather Donald Trump not to be the president of the United States again, but it's a devil you know in many ways. And I think that a Nikki Haley may be much more dangerous than a Donald Trump, because at least you know where Donald Trump stands on issues, and we have lived through a Donald Trump presidency. No one knows what a Nikki Haley will do, especially when it comes to a woman's right to choose, when it comes to racism in this country, and when it comes to supporting someone who inspired an insurrection in this country. So I know that's going to be surprising for people to hear, but that is my God's honest truth at this point.
Yes, welcome back. The devil you know is preferable than the angel you don't know. That is according to Don Lemon. Now he prefers Trump than Nikki Haley. She'll be more dangerous than Trump. I think this is my very first time I'm agreeing with one host of The View. They discuss about what happened recently with Trump being removed from the ballot. I have a couple of videos I'm going to play so you will see exactly what I'm talking about. It is actually shocking she said this. We know The View, giving our political opinion sometimes can be very disturbing.
I would say here is that I actually agree with Governor Gavin Newsom and David Axelrod. These are Democrats, leading Democrats, that say this would really cause a division that's almost insurmountable. And as someone that believes January 6th was that bad, wait one second.
So what are you saying?
Wait, just 1 second. I don't think the Supreme Court's going to hold this. I think they're going to overturn it, and it won't just be the originalists. I bet it's a 9-0 vote. I actually don't think they will hold this.
So you think they should leave it to the voters or not?
I think they should leave it to the voters, but I think the division this will cause, because what will happen is that martyrdom will be one step more. We have a nation that doesn't believe in democracy, doesn't believe in the voting. Everyone that loses says it was rigged and failed. I think this will create a visual to people that this was a rigged election by doing it. I do.
I think that the law will stand, and people should follow the law.
If that is the law, and the Supreme Court
does. If you're not going to follow an amendment, then why don't we have Taylor Swift?
But I think it's as clear.
Yes, what triggered me to actually react to this video is this. Hannah said she agreed with former Obama advisor David and Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom, arguing that Democrat must beat Trump at the polls. Instead, the point I would say here is I actually agree with Governor Gavin Newsom and David. These are leading Democrat that say this will really cause a division.
And a pretty basic U.S. history question. Take a look.
What was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government.
In the year 2023, it's astonishing to me that you answer that question without mentioning the word slavery.
The first thing I should have said was slavery. I completely agree with that. When you grow up in the South, slavery is a given. Like, when you think of the Civil War, you know it was about slavery. That's not, that's never been in question.
I'm sorry. Apparently, I said that Nikki Haley was a former candidate.
She's a candidate.
She's a present candidate.
Right.
What is she polling at?
Huh?
3% or 5%?
Look, I just forgot to say she was a candidate. Stop trying to dig my grave for me. She also said that question was a gotcha question. Nikki?
Whenever they don't like the question, it's a gotcha question.
Look, it was slavery. Slavery, straight up.
Oh.
Slavery. Every time people try to change that, we need to change it back. You're old enough to know better. You read the history books. You know what was happening. One side said we want the slaves. The other side said we don't, and they went to war. Don't sugarcoat this. That's what it was.
It was so interesting. Apparently, Santa didn't leave her a history book for Christmas. But I was thinking, isn't the 7 years ago, our forefathers, the Lincoln thing, wasn't that called the Emancipation Proclamation? To emancipate people. It's not called freedom for guys. Freedom for people to do whatever they want. It was called the Emancipation Proclamation. That alone gives you your first clue. She's getting her history from Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Yes, I really want to ask this question. When you watch these people, have you ever learned something? Like, I watch a clip, I pick out some points, I really want to know because they focus on one thing. If they are not calling Trump's name, they are doing some kind of insane things. And calling Trump's name is, I know it's just for real things because they will not really do some kind of real work, to give in contributions. We all know they are attacking Trump on daily basis. Nikki Haley, in this case, they are just using her like a laughing stock. These cackling hens on the view sometimes amaze me when I see their political takes on issues. Now take a look at how they are struggling to deliberate partaking to this issue of Nikki Haley, refusing to actually answer the question on slavery. It is crazy, seeing Whoopi Goldberg actually trying to really go hard on her, then trying to question her pool, which we all know she is really right back there. But Alisa is still standing up here to say she is supporting Nikki Haley. She can be the best president.
Fundamentally, a second Trump term could mean the end of American democracy as we know it. And I don't say that lightly. We all witnessed him trying to steal a democratic election before and going to historic and unconstitutional lengths to do so. And that just shows that he's willing to basically break every barrier to get into power and to stay into power. But also, I'm very concerned about what the term would actually look like.
We don't need to speculate what a second Trump term would look like because we already saw it play out. To this day, he still doubles down on the fact that he thinks that the election was stolen and fraudulent. And then his rhetoric has just gotten increasingly erratic. I mean, he has literally called for things like doing away with parts of the Constitution, wanting to weaponize the DOJ to enact revenge on his political enemies.
The fact that he feels that he needs to lean into being a dictator alone shows that he is a weak and feeble man who has no sense of character and integrity and has no sense of leadership.
Yes, I believe you've seen them here. They had this interview where they talked about Trump, like him going back to the White House is to go after his enemies and people like them because they are the enemies now. These same people work with Trump, they were extremely happy. At a certain point along the way, they had to go against him when they realized Democrats are actually taking up decision to go after everyone who work with Trump. With their weak mind, they had to run. Alisa, in all cases, I've watched different clips where she is going off on Trump and her support is always to Nikki Haley. I really don't know where she will go far with this.